Fred, let's talk about constructors. 20 points between you and Mercedes, great momentum. How confident are you of catching Mercedes before the end of the season?
Well, I don't have to be confident or not. I have to do the best job that we can, and we are focused on ourselves. We have, let's say, a good journey after Monza, Singapore, even Suzuka went well. That now we have to confirm in Qatar that it will be another challenge. It's quite difficult, but it will be the same for everybody, and yeah, it's a good fight.
Oliver Behrman set to drive for Haas in FP1. How closely will you be watching his progress? Because obviously you've got a big track record of bringing juniors through.
Yeah, he did a very good season in F2 2023 and a good season in F3 2022. But we know also that the step between junior series and F1 is quite high with the regulation that we have in F1, with the 3 test day in the winter, with this kind of format. It means that it's a challenge for the young ones, and we have to prepare them in the best way. It means that he will do a couple of FP1 this year, and we will do something a bit wider next year.
So, Andrea, big congratulations on Japan. On Lando's
Thank you.
cool-down lap, he said, Red Bull, we're coming for you. Is that starting to be the belief in the team with this immense upward trend?
That is the belief of the team because obviously we look forward and we are here to be successful, we are here to win races at some stage, and we are here to win championships at some stage. Obviously, after such a positive result, that was a bold statement by Lando, but we like it. We like to get this inspiration from our drivers, so that was a very motivational message from Lando, and definitely everyone at McLaren is very determined to keep progressing with the car. What we can really do is about making the car quicker and quicker. Like, you can have goals, you can set targets, but you don't progress with setting targets. You progress with the work you do every day, implementing the vision, bringing it to life, and that's our focus really.
Now, something that should help that is your wind tunnel. It's now operational. So let's talk wind tunnels. For new fans, why has this been such a journey for McLaren? And why is it so important for the team now for you to have this wind tunnel?
Well, the main benefit of having our wind tunnel in-house is that before we needed to go and test in Germany, which from a logistical point of view is just a massive challenge. Like you have parts ready and then you have to transport this part to Germany, so you accrue delays. And Formula One runs very quick, even when it comes to design. So now we are in condition to having shortened all these loops that are very important to design a faster and faster car. Also, we save some money from a financial point of view because we were renting the car in Germany, the wind tunnel in Germany, while now we have our own wind tunnel and we save this money and we can reinvest it in labor, engineer, mechanics, technicians, and we can reinvest it in car parts. In fairness, we also have to say that the upgrade we saw in Austria and the upgrade we saw in Singapore, they were developed in the Germany wind tunnel. So it's an improvement having our own wind tunnel, but it's mainly from a practical and financial point of view.
Finally, I wanted to talk about Oscar Piastri's performance in Suzuka. He was self-critical, saying that he lacked race pace. I just want you to put on your race engineer, performance engineer hat that you used to wear. What are you telling him? Like, what would you tell him about that? Is he being too self-critical, or are there little areas that you can help him with?
I don't think he's too self-critical. I think he makes a fair point. As a driver, you want to be the best driver. You want to be the best driver in qualifying. You want to be the best driver in the race and exploit the package at its maximum potential. And we saw that Lando extracted a little bit more in terms of consistency in the race compared to what Oscar did. And Oscar realized that immediately, right? But at the same time, it was an historical moment for Oscar, so I would say, Oscar, enjoy the moment. We certainly enjoyed the moment with him at the track. We enjoyed it in a very nice debrief with the team at MTC. But pretty much immediately we then started to work on, okay, how can we improve? The race pace is one of those points where experience is important, because there's not much preparation you can do in practice to then simulate what happens in a race when you do 20 laps in a row, because you never do 20 laps in a row in practice. So experience plays an important factor here. So I think every race he does, he keeps improving, and with his attitude, with his intelligence, with his improving racecraft, I think Oscar is going to be one of the most consistent drivers in the future soon in the race.
We could start by talking about Daniel Ricciardo. I believe he's done some simulator work this week, but how confident are you that he'll be back in the car for Austin?
Yeah, Daniel was in the simulator on Monday, which is the day when we wanted to take the decision. He did, full race distance, and he was almost there. But together with his team, we felt that we shouldn't rush things, especially now that we know that he will be in the car next year, and he only needed one small step ahead really to be confident and strong to race a full weekend. So he'll be back certainly in Austin in the car.
I want to talk also about Liam the Lion Lawson, as you apparently called him after Singapore.
Yeah.
Just talk to me about the job he's doing, but also why you felt that having Daniel Ricciardo and Yuki Tsunoda in the car for 2024 was the right decision.
Yeah. Look, Liam has done an extraordinary job in jumping into the car in Zandvoort, which was a difficult track. It was raining, and I think it couldn't have been worse actually for a young driver. But he mastered the situation. He did an honestly superb job, and he kept delivering on that pace. And so we're very, very happy with how he's developing. And as you said, Singapore for me was just a superb drive, and he was defending, and I love the fight really of as Liam the Lion put him to his opponents. And now looking at next year, we are trying to figure out what's the best way for the team to guarantee that we can fight in the top of the midfield. And we came to the conclusion that having an experienced driver like Daniel, who is helping us a lot with the setup, and Yuki, into whom we've invested over the last years, who is now reaching the pinnacle of his performance curve, they are the perfect pair to move forward. Also because Liam is now a reserve driver for us and for Red Bull Racing, and I'm sure that he'll keep the fire warm under the seat of Daniel and Yuki.
Now, AlphaTauri are in this transition period where Franz Tost is starting to move aside gradually. Can you just tell me what you've learned personally from Franz in your time at the team?
Well, Franz is an incredible mentor, and he has so much experience that in any situation he will have an advice, and he was extremely supportive with me. I spent so much time with him that sometimes actually I said to him the other day, I hope I actually don't annoy you because I'm spending all this time with you. And he said, no, I want you and the team to succeed, and I want to make sure that I pass everything on to you that I know. I think when Franz is a genius when it comes to drivers, and to understand where they are mentally, physically. And he keeps telling me that we have to make sure that the drivers they are on the top of their game when it comes to physical preparation. We need, but we also need to make sure that when they step up from Formula 2 to Formula 1, they need a lot of support. They need a lot of preparation for that. It's physically, mentally. Simulator driving, very, very important. Previous car testing is a very important element. So you need to invest into them. Otherwise, they will come up into Formula 1 and it might be very, very challenging for them.
If I could just a quick final question. Are we any closer to knowing what the team will be called next year and how those discussions are going?
Discussions are going very well. Unfortunately, I cannot disclose yet what the name will be. But yes, the shareholders have decided on the identity of the team. And we'll move a bit closer to the Red Bull family, and it's an exciting period, to see the birth of a Formula 1 team is probably a unique experience. I'm very happy to live through that.
So James, big topic of the moment, obviously Logan Sargent. As a team principal, it must be a difficult balance to strike at the moment. You're trying to encourage him, give him a safe space, but you need to see the performance from him as well, don't you?
You summed it up perfectly. We have a responsibility both as a team because we've brought Logan in without very minimal amounts of testing. If you compare for example, even to Oscar on the grid, Oscar was taking a year of just doing F1 testing, and he's doing an excellent job with it. We have a responsibility to Logan to make sure we've given every opportunity to succeed, and I don't believe we've done that yet, which is why my commentary is quite clear in the media. Again, today you saw in a FP1 session, he's actually doing a good job, again putting himself in the top 10. We weren't doing anything special with him. He is quick. What's not coming together is the whole package at the moment. We've spoken about that fairly openly. At the end of the year, we'll all know, and I'll be able to look him in the eyes and know that we've given the best opportunity, or that he is absolutely going to be in the car next year. But let's provide him the time to be able to do that. On top of that, I think we as a sport have a responsibility perhaps to relook at the rules and say, how do we introduce rookie drivers to it? You can see Liam will be sidelined, but I think he's absolutely deserving of a seat on this grid. And it's a reflection, I think, of these difficult sprint race formats, followed by 1 hour sessions, followed by a lack of opportunity to grow.
We've got Pat Fry coming on as your Chief Technical Officer November 1st. How much are you counting down the days until that happens? And realistically, can he have any impact on 2024, or is it more of a long-term play for you?
I think definitely counting down the days. As much as I've tried my best, I need someone that is far better than me in that role. And we've brought together a really good group of individuals within Williams, and we're working together. So in part I have a sadness, because I have to start letting go a little bit of that side of things. With 24 though, the die is pretty much set in the direction of travel. The chassis will already, by the time he comes through the door, be most of the way produced. It has to be. That's what the timelines are for these things, which means you define some of the big elements to things. The aero package, again, will be most of the way through development, even though it's going to be for next year. But the impact, and I've said it all along, I'm not interested in the short term, I'm interested in the long term. So he will, already in the 24 season, have a positive effect, but that real effect will kick in 25, 26, 27.
Now let's just talk about your year as team principal. We're coming towards the end of your first year. What's the personal journey been like for you this year?
I mean, it's you don't realise it until questions like this come up where you think it's nearly a year. Good, I would say. It's a role that obviously I had a lot to learn, and I still have a lot to learn, and I'd be disappointed if you ask me the question I say I haven't learned something new this week. But I think it doesn't take much to look at from the outside to realise that we're in a good direction of travel. The team has very much embraced me. I feel at home there. I felt at home there actually after just a few months, which is, to name it, extraordinary. To go into a completely different environment after 20 years elsewhere, but yet it feel like home, is a strong indication of how Williams is as an organisation. What I'm more excited by, and I keep going to the long term, but it's not the last 9 months. What I'm really excited by is a couple of years from now when it properly kicks into gear.